Hey folks, we recently got the opportunity to host Geoff and Nikki from Australia. They're sheep breeders near Sydney running the Wiltipoll breed. We took a few minutes just to chat about all things sheep and we've recorded it, so hope you enjoy. Cheers. Hey folks, so I have some visitors from the other side of the world here today. I'm very privileged to have Geoff and Nikki all the way from Australia. And they run a similar operation there with the Wiltipoll breed, which is effectively a Wiltshire horn that is polled, so similar to the Easy Care. And so we had some really good chats this morning, and if you guys want to tell us a bit about what you're doing.
Right. Well, we've got a stud in Robertson, which is a wet part of New South Wales in Australia, and we've just been exchanging lots of ideas and finding how similar our practices are. We strip graze like Josh does, and we love the data management, and so does Josh. So we've just been discussing conformation and weight gains and sort of thing. It's good.
Yeah. Oh, it's great to have you here.
Yeah. Yeah.
So how did you get into the Wiltipoll sheep?
Okay, so I think it was about 40 years ago. There was a group of people out near Kapunda in South Australia, who, which is sort of a dry area of the country. They brought in some Wiltshire horn, and they back-crossed that into a range of polled animals. One, I think the main one was polled Dorset, and then back-crossed that again and bred back into this breed now that we know of as Wiltipoll, Wiltshire horn polled, really. Really a minor breed compared with the larger breeds, the Merino and so on, but we find in Australia that a lot of people are moving across to meat breeds because shearing is becoming more difficult. There's not the returns in wool that there used to be, so we see that we've got a product that people are really wanting to purchase now. The other thing is that we sell our culled animals locally to restaurants.
Brilliant.
And in fact we're getting a huge amount of interest in that because of the taste. We only sell hogget, and people really prefer the hogget and the taste, and it seems to be a superior meat, and they're prepared to pay premium prices for that meat.
Yeah, we've like the market here is predominantly for lamb. However, we actually got a hogget butchered with a local butcher and brought home, and there's definitely it's a step up in terms of the texture and the taste. I think there's more richness to the flavour.
Yes.
So I can understand that. Well, that's getting fairly popular.
Yes. Yeah.
No, so we've had chefs asking us for more meat, but we only have so many culls and we're only a small operation.
Yes.
But we started off in sheep, we had Dorpers, but we found that the Dorpers just can't handle wet conditions.
Yeah.
They were bred in the desert, and they're great in Western New South Wales, places like that, but their feet aren't bred for the wet conditions. So when we decided we'd go upgrade to getting stud animals, Wiltipoll was the obvious choice.
Yep.
They're the only one in Australia that really consistently sheds cleanly.
Yes.
The Wiltipoll breeders have done very well in culling out anything that doesn't shed. By late spring, early summer, if it hasn't shed, it doesn't get bred from. And whereas the other breeds, there are a number of things like Aussie whites they've developed, but some Aussie whites shed really brilliantly and others don't.
Yeah,
so
a bit of variation.
There's a
in
lot
that
of
breed.
variation within that breed. So the Wiltipoll is becoming more popular, and as Geoff said, people can't get shearers. The price of wool, it's not you need a very big flock to make money out of wool.
Yeah, no, that is certainly the case here. It's I've heard of prices up to €5 per head to get a sheep sheared, and your fleece is worth, kind of cents, maybe 40 or 50 cents.
Yes.
So it's primarily for welfare at this point, but there are some excellent sheep breeds here, wool, but for certainly my situation, a shedding sheep fits really well in with the rest of life too.
It is, and it's.
We find we can promote the breed on the basis of fertility. Most of our ewes produce twins, occasional triplets. Similar to yourselves, I was really impressed that you had 10 sets of triplets this year.
Yeah, like we're scanning. The last 2 years we scanned at 1.92.
That's good.
And last year was great. There was 2 sets of triplets. There was, I think, 80% twins. It was ideal.
That's
from a labour point of view. The triplets are obviously you get that extra
more
lamb,
work.
but this year I took one of the triplets off and put them on a feeder. Next year I'll probably try run the triplets on the ewe just to see.
Well, we've found that we're now lambing in a shed, and we give triplets supplementary colostrum on day one. All of them, and then we watch, and we've found that the younger ewes can feed the triplets fine. Older ewes may not be able to, and then you'll see one getting rejected and have to bottle feed that. But the last couple of years our triplets have been fed by the mum.
Brilliant.
The mums are in poor condition by the time you wean, and what I'm moving to now is we'll actually watch them and maybe wean the triplets early, because it's just too much on the poor mums.
Yes, no, that was my concern. Now I know other breeders that are rearing the lambs on the ewe, so it's something I'm going to look at, and I'm trying to select for body condition going into mating too.
Yes.
The ewes have bounced back from the previous crop, but it's interesting.
So we actually provide lupins about a month before lambing, and then into lambing about 5 or 6 weeks. But not taking it right through to marking, but during that period the supplementary feed just gives them a real boost.
And it's probably a good way to cut down on the labour, say if you were having to feed triplet lambs separately. I think it's probably the way to go with them, to be honest.
Yes, if I can avoid that, I like to. And I find that weight gain, when you're weighing the weaner lambs, the triplets are nearly always much smaller. But over the next year, they start to catch up. It takes 18 months before a triplet lamb will be looking as good as the others, and that's when you need the data. You need to know it's a triplet, not just looking at it, because otherwise you'd never pick the triplet lamb. But some of them are, and the same with the bottle fed. If they've been bottle fed for any reason, they're generally way behind at weaning when you wean all the others and weigh them. But they do, over the next 18 months, they catch up. So for them, when I'm assessing culling, I'll look at the genealogy as much as their weight gain. And as long as they're gaining weight, doesn't matter if they're actually the smallest in the mob, they won't necessarily get culled.
If they have the good back breeding, there's definitely merit in keeping those.
That's right, exactly.
And in fact, we sold a ram that was a triplet last year, who was very small. But the guy that bought it knew exactly what he was buying, and that animal, he's now introduced a higher fertility into his flock. There doesn't seem to be a lot of advantage in going to a ram that has a twin or a triplet I think the scientists say something like a 5% advantage,
Yeah.
because there's so many other variables that play into it. But still, 5% is 5%.
Yeah.
You
That
might as well
helps.
have it if you can.
Yeah, well, I kind of, with the evaluation that's done here, you see number of lambs born, and I try to steer that where I'm primarily getting twins. You know, so I might use a single on one group to try and, you know, dial that down a bit. If they've a lower figure for the number of lambs born, I might use a twin with a high level or a triplet.
That's good.
You know, just to try and keep it balanced.
Yeah.
I think if I was going into quads and quintuplets,
No.
I think that would be a
Yeah.
lot of work. So
Well,
yeah, so it's all about balance, I think.
Quads
Yeah.
are fairly rare with Wiltipolls. We've never had one.
Same as, yeah.
But I do know somebody who has had quads. And, you know, Mum was okay. I don't know when they took the lambs off, the extra lambs off, or what happened, but
Well,
anyway.
listen, thank you so much for coming
Oh,
over
it's a
and sharing
pleasure.
your knowledge.
Yeah.
I think it's
Thank
great
you.
just to chat with different people in different contexts that have experience with sheep, and as we're saying before, there's such a rich community in sheep breeders, and I've made a lot of firm friends. So yeah, thank you once again.
Yes.
Thank you.
And thank you, Josh.
Thank
Cheers.
you.
Yeah.